Hi everybody, it's Deanna, and I'm going to react to Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024's episode of Jeopardy. I tune into Jeopardy practically every day. If I'm not going to be home, I record it. If I'm busy, I record it. And for the most part, I do keep up with it and I watch it. I love learning new things. I love the excitement I feel when I answer a question correctly, and it's such a fun game, and I love how it puts so much value on intelligence. So for Tuesday's episode, my eyes perked up when I saw that one of the contestants was black. I said, "Ooh, someone black's on the show," because I don't often see black contestants on the show. They do pop up on there, they do exist, but it's not as frequent as I'd like. So I'm tuning in, and this young man is named Tim, and I was excited. And I'm thinking, well, I was hoping that Nilesh would get his wins to make the Tournament of Champions. But when I see someone black, I want to root for them too. I digress. Okay. So one of the questions that popped up was regarding a spiced tea that the word for it means tea in Hindi. So I respond, "What is chai?" And Tim rang in and said, "What is chamomile?" And my heart dropped. I said, no, it's chai. And then later in the episode, there was a question that showed a video of an old, it was an old video from maybe the 1920s of a man falling off a building. So I responded, "Who is Buster Keaton?" And he responded, "Who is Charlie Chaplin?" And again, I said, "No, it's Buster Keaton, no." And I felt that he just felt so defeated. And while Nilesh and Lindsay were buzzing in and they were neck and neck, Tim just stood there and he just seemed so defeated and so deflated. Like these two incorrect responses just made him, it just took the wind out of him. And his contestant anecdote was really good. He was talking about how he's a PhD student and how he wants to spread joy and how he dances to help keep his energy and positivity up when he's studying for his PhD. And he seemed like a really nice young man. And he did get one response correct. It was about Ava DuVernay. He got that one correct, and I was so happy that he got it correct. I said, "At least you got one correct. That's good. All you need is that one. That's all that matters." But unfortunately, he couldn't get any more correct responses, and he couldn't get out of the negative, and he couldn't participate in Final Jeopardy. And though it was not a strong performance, Tim being on that show shows how much representation matters so much. I would love to be on Jeopardy. I have taken the anytime test multiple times. It is very hard, and I have not gotten past that initial test. It is so hard, but I'm not giving up, and I'm going to keep trying until I get on that show. And for the most part, people were very positive and very supportive, but there were some trolls making ignorant comments like, "How did he get on this show? He is nowhere in the same league as Nilesh and Lindsay." And then someone else assumed it was nepotism and he was related to a producer because there was no other reason for him to be on the show. And those comments were so ignorant and so thoughtless. As I said, the test is very hard, and it takes a lot of intelligence to get on that show. And anyone who passes that initial test and passes the other tests and passes the audition to get on that show deserves a spot on that show. And for people to discredit that and to assume, "Oh, he's not intelligent enough to be on this show," it's so short-sighted, it's so ignorant. And it just shows that representation matters so much. And I was rooting for him. And he, from me seeing the articles about him and the social media, he seems to be very positive about this and very good spirits about it. And he said it's not been his first time on a game show. And even though he said this has not been a great, it wasn't the best experience, and he was in the negative, he still had a positive time and he was glad to be there. And that's all that matters. And there will be trolls watching and saying, "You're racist. You don't even want to see black people on the show." And it's not about just seeing black people in the way they see it. It's about seeing representation. It's about seeing people who look like me on that show, standing there, deserving that spot, and vying for the chance to be the champion for that day. And we need that so much. Anytime I see a positive representation of someone black on a game show, I'm rooting for them. I'm like Issa Rae. I'm rooting for everyone black. I am. I definitely am. And there is nothing racist about doing that. And I would love to see more black people on Jeopardy. I would love to see more black people on these shows. And I really hope that the doors are more open for people like Tim, for people like me, for people like Emily. She was a woman who was on a few years ago, and I believe she responded to a question about Tracy Ellis Ross, and then she made a joke about how she had to get that right, and she didn't want to lose her black card. I want to see more people who look like me on Jeopardy, on The Chase, on any game show that values intelligence, that values learning, that values of depth of knowledge. And I did not once feel disappointed about Tim being there. Though he did not have the best time playing, he had the best time being there. And that is the first step, that representation, the first step towards seeing people who resemble us on screen represented in that way. Definitely. And though they have a second chance tournament for those who have come close to winning, but they didn't win, they need to have one for people who, because of nerves or stage fright, to give them a second chance to play again. Maybe that was not their day. Maybe the boards weren't working in their favor. But we can have, they should definitely have something where they show, they should definitely have something where they give people who didn't have the best time playing on Jeopardy, the best rounds, give them a second chance to come back and try again. Maybe that wasn't their day. Maybe that next time will be their day. Give more of those people the opportunity to try again if they want to. Because some may say, you know what, this is not for me, I'm not going to do this anymore. But for those who want to, give them that chance. Give them that opportunity to try again. I think that'd be, I do believe that something like that should happen. It definitely should. And I saw on social media, Tim had a watch party and he had his friends and family and loved ones, and he was surrounded by positivity and good vibes and joy, and that's the spirit of Jeopardy. And while I said earlier it is about intelligence, yes, it's also about how it brings people together, how it oh, I've got so much to say. It's like putting it together. Jeopardy, it's not only about intelligence, it's about bringing people together. It's about giving people a chance to earn money doing something they love. It's about that chance to have those 30 seconds to talk about oneself and let people learn things that we may never know about them otherwise. And I've seen how that show changes people's lives. And that's another thing. I've seen Amy Schneider. I believe that she was working at a job when she first started playing on Jeopardy. When she started doing the tournaments, she quit her job and she became a writer. And it's such a great show. It shows so many people in different walks of life getting a chance to change their lives because of the power of intelligence, the power of that depth of knowledge. It's just, it's amazing. It really is. And to end this video, I am very proud of Tim, and I'm very proud of anybody who looks like me, anybody black, anybody brown who appears on that show and has their chance in the spotlight. Bye for now, everybody. Take care.